student-led conferences are just that. They are conferences with parents led by the students. This conference differs from more traditional teacher-directed interviews in that students are active participants and advocates of their own learning. The student is responsible for leading and sharing with their parents learning intentions, success criteria, samples of work, and personal reflections. Preparing for student-led conferences varies depending on the grade, students' previous experience, and students' comfort level. In my class, student-led conferences are something most of my students and their parents have already participated in several times before. Although the format and certainly work samples will be different, there is a common understanding of what happens at these conferences.
I'm going to tell you the 3 things that I hope to accomplish today. So the first thing, I hope that you learn from what I'm learning in school. And I hope that you give me descriptive and critical feedback. I can take it. And
are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. And I hope that I get to show you all of my work. So first I'm going to share my learning intentions with you. In reading, I'm learning to identify the main theme or message in a variety of texts. In writing, I'm learning to edit my own and a partner's work using the proper editing symbols.
Preparation begins informally as early as September. Basically, students begin to reflect on their own work and that of their peers with each task, activity, or assignment they participate in. Students become very familiar with the concept of metacognition, thinking about their thinking. Prior modeling, scaffolding, and taking part in this practice makes the transition and preparation for student-led conferences much smoother. Evidence of this can be seen in anchor charts and work samples around the classroom. The conference should include material that has been completed independently and recently in class and reflects current learning intentions. In addition, the material shared will include personal student reflections of their strengths and next steps. The conference also provides an opportunity for parents to witness what other students in the class are doing. Work samples shared during the conference always reflect and connect to curriculum focus for that grade level. Students are well aware of their learning intentions and are able to express this to their parents. In math, for instance, our recent focus has been using student and teacher-created success criteria in order to effectively solve word problems. In literacy, we have been working on reading and writing realistic fiction in order to create meaning and uncover big ideas and large themes. Approximately 2 weeks prior to the actual conference date, students brainstorm what the purpose of the conference is. As work samples are gathered, students reflect on their own work.
I get mixed up in the 2 different ways to do long division. There's DMSB and then there's the other way, which I get mixed up. And then I think I'll try to study my notes and my math book more often, and I'll also check my answers to make sure I get them correctly. Ms. Porcelino said that she agrees with me and that she thinks I'm also good at expressing and sharing my ideas with the class.
Next, a conference occurs between myself and each individual student. Together we discuss and I record their strengths and possible next steps. During the actual conference, parents will record what they perceive to be their child's strengths and possible next steps to move their learning forward. Once preparation is complete, students are given ample opportunities to role play with their peers. This includes making introductions, asking possible questions that their parents might ask, and discussing what their parents may want to know. This occurs a few days leading up to the actual conference with their parents. Students in my class also participate in playing the role of parents for a primary class in the school. This helps build self-confidence and also allows students to gain insight into various perspectives of the learning process. My job is to support students should they require it, and to clarify or address specific questions parents may have. Certainly, if there were urgent concerns, they would have been addressed and discussed prior to the conference date. Students follow a specific predetermined format for the conference. Parents listen attentively and learn about their child. The interaction between parent and student is rich and questions are plentiful. It is not uncommon for students to participate in the conference by speaking to their parents in their first language. In fact, I always strongly encourage students to do so if this is the most natural and effective way for them to communicate. Not only does this allow for a more authentic dialogue, but it also becomes a very personal conversation.
Okay, so Mama, this is the third page of the report card, and you're gonna need to fill this out. तो जो आपको लगता है कि मैंने आपके जो मेरे goals and how you can help me कि आप लिखें कि मैं उसको help करूँगी कि मैं घर पे उसको workbooks I'll write down और फिर सारा जो यहाँ आप लिखती हैं जैसे दूसरों पे भी आपने लिखा हुआ है तो वो आप यहाँ लिखें. And then I'm gonna write my own goals and then just sign at the bottom.
In many cases, students transfer from English to their first language effortlessly. Some students participate in the conference solely in their first language. Students and parents are free to communicate in whatever way best suits them. Before the conference ends, students are encouraged to honestly reflect on how they feel the conference went. Appreciations are also shared among students and parents using sentence prompts. We use these reflections to debrief the conference experience the next day. What would they have changed or done differently? Students are encouraged to share any surprises with their peers that may have occurred during the conference. Overall, the conference is meant to build communication and critical thinking skills. Students are encouraged to share their learning and learning environment with their parents. It is meant to be a positive experience and increase parent participation in an open and honest way. During the process, students learn to be reflective of themselves as learners. They develop the vocabulary with which to discuss their work and their progress. Through practice, they develop their communication skills and learn how to ask and answer questions respectfully. By thinking through what next steps they will take to improve, they become more responsible for their own learning. Parents also learn through the dialogue. They gain a deeper understanding of what their child is learning in school, how that learning is assessed, and what they can do to support their child. The overall benefits are invaluable, as all members of the learning community work together to support students in becoming independent, lifelong learners.